Alright guys, what's up? So, thinking lately about this Hinderer I got. Wanted to do kind of a video overview of it. And XM18 Spanto, 3.5 inch. Super smooth. This has got a great detail on it, and you can see it takes no effort to flip open. A lot of these, I guess, Hinderers have some issues with the detents. This is the Gen 4, I believe, so... Anyway, I got this used off the exchange. Always wanted a Hinderer. I traded a couple knives for it. And it's been sweet. I've been carrying it, using it a little bit. Not a lot, but you know, it's a great knife. Love it. But I've been thinking, you know, here I have this Hinderer design. The ZT560 CBCF. Also incredibly smooth. This does run on the KVT bearing system though. But, you know, got a lot nicer scale. You got your carbon fiber, you know, your composite blade on this. The titanium finishing on this is really nice. It's got these milled grooves in it. You can barely see, but they look really cool. Kind of like a bronze in there. So, really nice knives. Then I'm looking at my ZT550, one of my favorite knives. Since I've added this custom carbon fiber scale, this unidirectional, it just made this knife even more of a favorite. It's buttery smooth, flies right open, has a good detent on it. You can see how smooth it is. You know, great knife. I mean, very comparable in size to the Hinderer. So I was thinking to myself, and I'm thinking, man, is it really worth the money for one of these? Now, you know, what are the main differences between a Hinderer XM18 versus a ZT550 or a ZT560, which are both designed by Hinderer, but, you know, obviously done through Zero Tolerance, Kershaw. So, you know, what are the main differences? What makes the Hinderer so much more money? That's the question. And putting this one aside, because this is a limited production run, and just comparing it to the 550, very similar in size, similar materials, titanium scales on both. You know, you got your G10 on this one. This one normally does come with a G10 scale, but I've added this carbon fiber. But even with this carbon fiber scale, I mean, I only have probably 180 bucks into this 550, whereas, you know, the market price on these, if you're not Leo or if you're not a first responder or military, is, you know, closer to $700 to $800. And I'm thinking to myself, is this really worth that much more money? And I know there's been some other videos. I know Jim Skelton did a video review similar to that, you know, kind of talking about the XM18 and the XM24s, and, you know, are they really worth it? So, you know, looking at the differences between the two knives, I mean, yes, you get similar qualities, but like on the 550 here, you get, you know, this blackened hardware versus this nice stainless hardware on the XM18. You get a really nice and just a beautiful stonewash finish on the Hinderer, whereas you just kind of get a plain satin finish here on the ZT. I'd love to see like a stonewash finish on that, but, you know, that could easily be done. I don't have the skills, but I know many guys that do, that could, you know, accomplish that. So there, to me, I mean, I love this Hinderer. It's buttery smooth. It's a perfect size knife for me. I mean, it fits my hand like a glove. It's very comfortable. I do like the stonewashing on the blade is beautiful. You know, the stonewashing on the ZT is, this one's got a little few scratches. This has definitely been used. It's nice. It's not quite as nice, but it's nice. You know, it's a nice stonewash. You know, is there really anything that makes this knife worth that much more money than these zero tolerance knives that are designed by Rick Hinderer himself? You know, is there anything that's worth the more money? Now, if you're talking, you know, if you're able to pick one of these up for like the I think it's $385 that he does for the Leos and the first responders and the military, then absolutely, I think this is a great purchase. I think it's a great buy. I mean, I think it's worth that much money. Is it worth 750 bucks? Not really, not in my opinion. I really like the knife. I'm not talking negatively on the Hinderer. I think it's an awesome knife, but you're talking full-blown custom areas, you know, for that much money. And for me, it's kind of like, you know, is it really worth that much? I mean, I like, you know, one thing I do like about the Hinderer is the different scale options that aren't aftermarket. They're, you know, they're made by Rick Hinderer. They're, you know, many different options to choose from. You got your G10, you got your carbon fibers, and you got your full titanium scales. even. So you got a lot of customization ability with the Hinderer, which I really like. But then again, you know, with today's all those knife pimpers out there and all the people that have lots of skills that are making, I mean, look at this custom scale. That's beautiful. I mean, there's nothing like that on a production knife. I mean, even this the carbon fiber on this ZT560 is awesome. Some of the best I've seen. This is pretty dang close, and it cost me like $80 to get that scale made. You know, not breaking the bank. This 550 is just as smooth as that Hinderer. You know, both of these don't use bearing systems. The 560, it does use the KVT bearing, so it's kind of a hard comparison because the bearings are always going to be smoother. You know, and Rick has definitely done a great job on these knives, making these very smooth and without using bearings. But you know, he did the same thing on the 550, and it cost, jeez, I mean, you can pick one of these up. This is a Gen 1. You can pick a Gen 2 up for, you know, 150, you know, $160. I mean, it's a great deal. You want to throw a custom scale on that, you're still only into about, you know, $250, and it's just as good of a knife. Honestly, it's not any worse. Like I said, the fit and finish is a little nicer on the Hinderer. The scales are, I mean, look at that 550 scale. It's just as beefy as that Hinderer scale, as that titanium scale. You know, I would love to see the polished standoffs on the ZT, which can also be done. You know, if you wanted to send it into someone, or if you have the skills to do it yourself, you could polish those standoffs. You know, I would like to see more scale options for these knives, but again, there's lots of aftermarket out there, and some of these guys, you know, this one was done by Rival Knife Works, and he does awesome scales. I mean, it's money. It's perfect. You know, there's no imperfections in this thing. It matches up perfectly. It looks like it's professionally done, you know? And so it's just hard for me to say, yes, go out and buy a Hinderer XM18. You know, I traded into it. I've always wanted to have one, so I traded a couple knives. For some reason in my mind, that made me feel like I didn't go out and spend that kind of money on this knife, you know, because I traded into it. But, you know, again, a great knife, nothing negative to say about it, nothing. I actually love it. I mean, it may, like I've said before, maybe the perfect size knife, maybe the perfect knife for me, but it also cost a lot of money. If I bought it for $400, like you could get if you were Leo or military, heck yeah, I'd love it. I'd keep it. I'd use the heck out of it. I'm a little hesitant at the you know, amount of money these cost on the secondary market, you know, to use it over my ZTs, because these ZTs are awesome. They do the job just as well, and they use, you know, similar steel. This is 20 CV steel on this one. I know I use this S35 on some of the new ones. Well, guess what? S35 on the ZT. Made in the USA, just like these. You get a lifetime warranty with Kershaw. I mean, hard to beat a ZT knife, really. It really is. They're some of my favorite knives. I've had, these are the only two I own now, but I've had, you know, pretty much every ZT model out there, minus I think the 400. So had a ton of ZTs, love them. They're great knives, highly recommended. They're not going to break the bank. You know, the 560 CBCF was a limited production, supposed to be 1,000 pieces. Looks like it's gone over that. And I think Kershaw recently announced that it was just until they run out of materials, because when they make these composite blades, they don't always, you know, they only have so much material to do those, apparently. You know, this one even has this has a more premium steel. This has a S110V. You know, that knife cost me $340. You're talking half, more than half the cost, or less than half the cost of the Hinderer. So, kind of hard to see. Now, am I selling this? Am I getting rid of it? Possibly. I do have another knife that I'm going to do a video. I'm going to compare the Curtis F3. I was absolutely lucky, super lucky to score one. Blade HQ announced they were getting 4 in, and I was able to score one of the Stonewashed Titanium Curtis F3s. Should be shipping today, and Blade HQ is local to me, so I should probably have it in my hands probably no later than Saturday. So look forward to that unboxing, and I'm going to do a comparison of these two knives, the Hinderer and the Curtis F3, because they are very, very similar knives, very, very similar. But the thing is, with the Curtis, I paid $475, and that's a full-blown custom. I mean, some people argue that Curtis knives aren't customs. Well, they are. He does everything in-house. He's the one and the only man that does all the work. He owns his own water jetting company. You know, he does all the stuff on the Curtis. So, you know, say what you might, but to me, that's a custom knife. At the least, a mid-tech knife, whereas, you know, the Hinderer is more of a production knife. So, you know, just something to think about if you're on the fence and you're looking. You know, I was super stoked to get the Hinderer. I was glad I did the trade. I do not regret it in any way, shape, or form. And who knows, I might like it better than the Curtis F3, and I may end up selling the Curtis F3 and keeping the Hinderer. But you know, it's hard for me to say that, you know, you should go out and buy a Hinderer over a ZT 550 or a 560, because similar design. You know, both these knives have been nothing but rock solid. You know, and I just can't, in my mind, see any huge difference between these three knives. I mean, just as smooth, no rock, no lock. See, look at that. I even opened that with a thumb stud. A lot of the 560s are tough to open with thumb studs. You know, no issues with any of these knives. No sticky locks, no lock rock, no, you know, the centering is perfect. I mean, comparing the centering on the 560 to the Hinderer, there's no difference. I mean, honestly, Hinderer's a great knife. I really like it, but I have a feeling that this Curtis F3, when I get that, might blow it out of the water for the price, because it just might be that better of a value. And I'm a pretty value-minded guy. You know, I'm kind of more into higher-end knives now. I've got my first Hinderer. I've got my first custom coming, the Curtis F3. I've got a sausage steel mid-tech coming in. I have my Browse Reloader mid-tech. So I'm kind of stepping up to the higher range of knives, and not quite customs. You know, I guess I get my first customs coming soon. And for me, it's just, you know, what you can get for your money, you know. And I think if you were able to buy the Hinderer, like I said a few times, if you're able to buy it for the Leo price or for, you know, a first responder, then great, definitely a great value. Is it worth what they're going for on the secondary market? I don't know. Well, time will tell. But for now, I'll keep using it. I'll keep using my ZTs, and I highly recommend these knives. And if you know, are on the fence and don't have one of these, or you're, you know, considering buying a Hinderer even though you have these models, I don't know, I might tell you to save your money and, you know, get yourself a custom, get yourself a Curtis, or get yourself a, you know, Ray Laconico if you can score one, or, you know, something really nice like that. That's, in my opinion, worth the money. So anyway, just a little rambling. Wow, it went on for like 12 minutes longer than I thought. Got a new background, kind of dig it. It's pretty cool. It's different. It's not just plain black, and it doesn't have all the busyness of the Tech Mat. So let me know what you think about that. And I got to upload that other footage from that fixed blade I'm testing. And I've got my flashlight review. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff to upload, but this was on my mind last night, and kind of wanted to get your thoughts and your feelings on that as well. So please, you know, feel free to leave comments. Please like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I'll talk to you next time.